Hello, livestock friends, and welcome to this edition of Before the Bid. This is a podcast dedicated to the livestock sales industry where we go behind the scenes of the operation and speak straight to the sellers. We discuss topics about the important aspects of their operation, location, the people behind the prep work, and talk about some of the animals that will be offered to you, the prospective buyers. Hopefully, you've got your sale catalog close by. You might have to go look through that pile on your desk. But if not, then you're probably like me and driving down the road or busy with chores around the farm. And that's okay too. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoy this segment of Before the Bid. I'm your host, Andy Howell. Welcome, livestock friends, to this edition of Before the Bid podcast. And on this edition, we are going to a place that is really close to home for me and an association that I have been a part of and been president of, actually, and done some different things in the association. Association that, again, really hits home for me, and we are going to have a sale as we do every spring except for last year. The COVID kind of hurt that last year, but we have got our things put together for this year, and we're going to have a sale. And that sale is going to be at Little York, Indiana, and sale is going to be Saturday, March 27th, going to start at 1 o'clock. And again, that's the Producers Livestock Facility there in Little York, Indiana. And so tonight for this podcast, I have with me Dwayne Stevens, and Dwayne is from Gold Buckle Cattle Services in West Salem, Illinois, and Dwayne has been a part of this sale for quite a few years and started out as a ringman for the sale, and then he's the auctioneer for the sale, and now for the last couple years, Dwayne is doing the management and also doing the auctioneering for the sale. And so for this podcast, for the Southern Indiana Angus sale, I want to welcome Dwayne Stevens here. And Dwayne, springtime is here and things are going, and you've got a lot of sales coming up here, and including the Southern Indiana Angus sale.
That's right, Andy. I tell you, it's things have changed around here. Looking across our yard and our pastures in the last few days, spring is definitely here. Grass is greening up, trees are starting to bud out. It's time to start looking at some of these spring sales. It's time to get on there and get your bulls ready for the spring. Get some of those replacement females, that type of thing. And Southern Indiana Angus Association sales a great place to take a look at those and add those into your program as well.
Right, and I believe this is probably the 16th or 17th sale of the Southern Indiana Angus Association, and trying to grow the sale, trying to get better animals in the sale all the time, and trying to up the ante here for the Southern Indiana Angus sale. And I think we've got a good set put together for this one, and so we'll talk about some of those a bit later. But Dwayne, tell them a little bit about the Southern Indiana Angus Association. You're as much a part of it and have been here for the last 3 or 4 years, and we do some things during the winter time and even during the summer here that you've been a part of.
That's right. It's actually a pretty unique organization, and I encourage everybody to be involved with it. A lot of the breed association type sales that I've been involved with are simply breed associations. This one's pretty unique in the fact that they're very organized. There's a monthly meeting held every year. They do shut down those in the summer, but I believe they run October through May. Off the top of my head, it's moved around a little bit. I believe it's the second Thursday. They're in Brownstown, and we can get you some information on that as well. But they're always good about having a nice program, inviting a guest speaker to be involved. Out in the typically the February meeting, they'll invite the stud services along here, a few of them, to kind of discuss some of the Angus bulls that they have available for the year to be used as well. So that's also pretty nice to have at your disposal. To get right there to meet. It's a great place to get into a meeting situation, get gathered around with other Angus breeders from the area, and see what they're doing as well, and see how their programs are functioning in different environments, their breeding programs and that type of thing. So it's certainly a great association to be involved in.
Right. Yeah. Always a meeting, and like you say, there's the meetings within the meetings, and eat meals, and socialize with everybody there, and I know that we've learned a lot from a lot of other breeders down here in the Southern Association, and figure out what they're doing and what they're kind of going through, and we're pretty tight knit group down here.
That's right. It's really a good organization to be involved in. Even if you're not a part of the sale or as a consigner, it's certainly a great organization to be involved in. That's correct.
Right, and as you said, with the guest speakers include guys that are on the National American Angus board, and we've had some of those guys from the association come out as well, and do quite a few different things here to just get you some information, get you some exposure to other breeders in the southern part of Indiana, and do quite a few things there. So. And one of the things they came up with here a couple years ago, like I said, about 16, 17 years, I can't exactly remember how many it has been, maybe even pushing more than that. But they decided that they wanted to have a sale, and they wanted to have a consignment sale for all these guys in southern Indiana. Because in southern Indiana, these breeders, I mean, there's some sizable breeders, but most of them don't have their own sale down here. And so they put this consignment sale together. Everybody can come to Little York and have those cattle there on that Saturday. And Dwayne started out quite a few years ago. You started out being ringman at the sale and moved up to the auctioneering.
That's right. Yeah, had the opportunity actually while you were managing the sale, Andy, to work the ring for a little while, and kind of filled in there for an old friend that had a conflict of selling and stayed in the block for a while, and we would take on a little management change where you relinquished the helm there to us, and we started managing here. I believe this is our fifth year in management of it overall, and I can't rave enough about those consigners in all the years I've been involved. And it's always a quality set of cattle. This year's obviously not any different. There's a great set that we put together for this year in each division as well. So you're exactly right. They may come from some smaller breeders, but they certainly are quality cattle that they bring to the table for your appraisal every year.
Right, and you've even done a nice job bringing in some other consigners. We've got some consigners that come in from Kentucky this year. We've got some that come in from Illinois, and so you've really tried to expand that a little, even a little bit farther than the Southern Indiana Angus Association.
Well, sure. I sure like to see some new genetics involved in it too from time to time, and bring in some other things and some different breeders and get some different exposure as well. So we like to keep things increasing as we go all along.
I guess I want to pick your brain a little. What are some of the challenges of a consignment sale and putting those together? And guys like, we got guys from Illinois and Kentucky and Southern Indiana, and sometimes we get some Northern Indiana and Central Indiana guys down here. And what are some of the challenges with those?
Well, it's always a challenge, especially when you're trying to put together a sale when it's going to be the right time of the year for marketing, when these guys are trying to select some bulls to use in their own programs at home. Want to buy them in a sale much like this, or want to add some females, some replacement females, and that type of thing. And that's one of the huge challenges we have, is trying to prepare that sale through the winter months, trying to get good pictures of those cattle and trying to get around and get them seen so we know what we're trying to market. That's one of the major challenges, just because of the time of the year, and especially this year, no different. Man, we had that wave of snow and ice and things through, and right about the time everybody was trying to put together their marketing strategies there, and so that made one of the big challenges. The other challenge, I say, in my opinion, anytime you're trying to put together a sale through multiple consigners, it's also trying to put together a focus of it. Right. And trying to get a set of cattle that we can market as a group, as a whole, and give something to offer. And not saying that they all have to be peas in a pod. There needs to be some variation here, because there's variations from the buyer standpoint as well. They're not everybody's looking for the exact same thing. So we're sure trying to find some good quality cattle, some functional cattle in the right ages that still have some longevity to them, that are sound as well, that'll have that longevity from a structure standpoint. So it's always a little bit challenging, but I tell you what, the set of consigners that I've had to work with, and even before I was managing the sale, Andy, have always done an excellent job of fulfilling that, getting us the type of cattle that I think we can market and get out into the hands of potential buyers here as well. So.
Right, and you talk about everybody out here getting their stuff together, and you've got your own operation at home, and let's highlight that just a bit.
Sure. If you want to talk about me, that's great too.
I didn't think you'd oppose.
Sure. No, it's my wife Julie and I and two daughters, Allison and Lainey, and we've been going at this, Julie and I both, before we were ever married. I mean, we both come from long line livestock families, cattle particularly, and we settled into the Simmental operation a little bit when we first were married. And of course, I come from an Angus background anyway, and we've incorporated that in. We used a lot of Angus cattle through our Simmental operation as well, and now we're getting a little more focused here on the Angus breed. Spent quite a bit of time here in the last several years building our Angus program, and then we got a little hint of Hereford here too. Got a little Hereford roots to myself, so. And then, of course, we've been awfully blessed. We've been very competitive in the show ring nationally as well. And now our own marketing strategy, we're pretty nationwide with that as well. So not to get too deep into my own program, I guess, we're trying to focus on the Southern Indiana sale, but that's exactly right. Yeah, we do have our own operation here, and it gets to be a little bit of a challenge trying to keep all the balls in the air at the same time.
Right, and then you guys do the Gold Buckle cattle services, and let's highlight that a little as well.
Sure, yeah. Well, I consult. Boy, I don't know. It varies from year to year, but 20 to 30 purebred sales, particularly Angus sales. We'll buy and sell cattle for other producers. I'm constantly on the look for what the people that want to buy through us, what they're looking for, and finding those cattle for them when we're out on the road, and that's a national basis too. I mean, we stretch from the eastern side of the United States out to Oregon in the last several years. Spent quite a bit of time in Texas and Oklahoma too, marketing cattle, and so that does consume quite a bit of time as well. That's the basis of it. I do sell about 15 or so as the auctioneer, pretty purebred sales a year. And then just a little side note on that, I guess, too, we also have an estate business where we do real estate and machinery and farm sales here locally as well. So we do have that aspect of that business as well.
Right, and I've even used those services as well, as you've sent us one, and sent us one last year that worked out really well. So.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so Dwayne and Julie really get out there and work hard and try to get guys what they need and what they want, and do a nice job of that. And as far as sales, I mean you do quite a few ring operations and do some ringman duties as well at a lot of purebred sales.
That's right.
One of the places I met you doing that, and also on the show road as well. Dwayne and I go back. I don't know how many years we go back.
Probably more than we really need to discuss on here. That's for sure.
Right. We've hung out weeks at a time. Shoot, man, that's been almost 20 years now, and. Glad to be working with you again on this and on the podcast and with this Southern Association that again is pretty dear to my heart. So, Dwayne, why don't we talk about this sale a little here, and then we'll kind of get into some of these cattle a bit. But again, the sale was at Little York, Indiana, at the Producers Livestock Facility, and that's going to be on Saturday, March 27th. Going to start at 1:00. We got a great manager there that manages that facility, and Ryan Badd and the crew there to get this place and this sale get ready for it as well.
Yeah, it's a nice facility. Something that I want to mention too, we'll have a lunch available that day. The exact specifics on that, Ryan was actually trying to put that together for us. We were trying to be a little concerned on that with COVID as well, but I've been informed we will have a lunch available there that day at the sale. There's nothing in the catalog or out on that, but if you're listening to this, to know that you don't have to grab anything on the way in. So, and like I said, Ryan is doing that. Ryan does a nice job with that facility as well. It's very clean, nice facility, nice sale ring. It's a great place to have a sale as well.
And if you can't make it to the sale, you can tell them they can bid on liveauctions.tv, and that's something that you brought to the sale.
Sure. Yeah, you can view the sale. They're on liveauctions.tv. Brooklyn Graham administrates that for us at that. So, of course, she's a hometown girl right there close to Little York as well, and does a nice job with that. If the internet's not your thing, there's a whole list of phone numbers there in the catalog that you can reach many different people there ahead of the sale. If you'd like to bid on the phone, I always encourage people that if you'd like to do that, if you're not an internet type of person, or don't be afraid to give any of us a call if you're not available to stay on the phone during a sale. Don't be afraid to give anybody a shout that's enlisted in that catalog as well. We'll treat your money just like it's ours if you'd like to leave bids on those cattle.
Yeah.
Well.
And if they are an internet person, they don't have a catalog in their hands, by the time this comes out, it's going to be a little bit quick to get a catalog. But if it's in one of the first couple of days when this comes out, we might still be able to get you a catalog. But where could they find one real easy, Dwayne?
Yeah, sure. I don't mind mailing you one up until the first of next week to try to get one out to you. If you want to contact me here at the office or on my cell, I could certainly mail you one. Or it's actually online in several different places if you want to look at it from there. I know it's on, if you go to angus.org into the sale books, you can click right on a link there to take a look at it. I haven't checked. It should be up on IndianaAngus.com as well. It'll be up on live auctions if it isn't already. I haven't checked to see if it's been posted there. There's also a link if you go to either Gold Buckle Cattle Services Facebook page or the Southern Indiana Angus Association Facebook page. You can scroll down into that. I know the issue link or the link to the catalog is posted on both of those on Facebook as well. So it's, you've got plenty of places to find it electronically, or if you just give me a shout, or actually any of the consigners could get you a catalog as well pretty quickly. And all those consigners are listed right there in the catalog. There's 16 great consigners for it this year. The big base of them obviously out of Southern Indiana, but one here out of Illinois as well, one out of Northern Kentucky. But a pretty good set of those consigners that could get you a catalog pretty easily.
And I got mine in the mail yesterday and got a package of them in the mail, and so each consignor has 4 or 5 that they could give out as well. So able to get a hold of them and get you one, and again the Facebook page, and we've got consigners that are putting pictures and things on the Facebook page. As you mentioned, back in the winter, it's so hard to get pictures and things. I know we're the exact same as well, but coming up to the sale, they start to get those cattle cleaned up here, like the 18th, 19th, the 20th, that sort of thing. They start to get those cattle cleaned up, get them clipped up, and a lot of them will snap some pictures, and we'll be able to get them up there on the Facebook page for those consigners, and so another place that you could see some of those.
Yeah, I'd certainly encourage you to watch the Southern Indiana Angus Association Facebook page for any updates as well. And as we get into Friday evening, the 26th, we'll have both the sale order, but more importantly, the update sheet to come along with the sale will be posted up there and on Facebook and many different places. But Southern Indiana Angus Association's page would be a great one to take a look at to see if there's anything that any updates that are pertinent to any of the lots that you're interested in. We'll certainly have anything that we need to get announced right up on that by Friday evening, but definitely by Saturday morning, but should be up by Friday evening as well.
Right. Yeah, and another challenge is, as we all know, these spring sales when we're calving cows right now and doing things that we've entered in the sale. Why sometimes it seems if you want to have problems with one, why enter them in a sale, right?
Sure, that's right. That's right.
we, we,
That's right.
we've got one of those on our personal lots as well that they'll have to update you on. So,
Yeah, I know there'll be a handful that will calve before sale day, and so we'll post, what they've done there, our buller heifer and a calving date on those, and then there'll be some updates as far as breeding status, as far as confirmed bred. By print time, it was hard on some of those cattle were short enough bred that they didn't have them confirmed,
right.
but we'll have that confirmation information up. I guess while I'm talking about that, I'll mention too. Any of the bulls that are in the sale that are a year of age by sale date will have passed a breeding soundness exam. We'll have documentation that they're good from they've been checked by a veterinarian or a breeding soundness specialist to let you know that that's taken care of. Any of the females that are selling bred 45 days or more will be confirmed either by palpation, ultrasound, or blood test there. So the pregnancy will be confirmed, be documented for you as well. So that'll be information that you'll have at your disposal there by sale date as well. And we'll post anything that we need to as well on the update sheets at that time as well. So.
Yeah, and also contact somebody if you have a question about an update that you don't get to see one of those update sheets. Why? But it should be out there enough that everybody could find it or be able to get that information. So, Dwayne, you helped put this catalog together quite a bit, and there's some things in this catalog that aren't real typical in a lot of catalogs, and some people that we need to thank for helping with some of the expense of this catalog.
Yeah, sure. We have some advertisers that certainly want to recognize and thank them for their support. And I'll list them real quick: Calco Incorporated, Livestock Equipment, Jacoby Sales Incorporated, K&S Incorporated, and then in Buck Chastain as well. Tampico Grain, Chin Equipment Company, they're from Ramsey, Longbottom and Hardshaw as well. Rules Feed and Small Engine, Let's Hardware, Standish Farm Supply, and also Shelby Materials. All great advertisers. I want to thank them for their support here. Helps offset some of the sale expenses here of the catalog production by their advertising. I sure encourage anybody to take a look at their advertisement and their information, and take a look at them if you're in that area there as a potential place to do business.
Right.
And another one I want to recognize too, be three stud services here. We'll be offering semen on different bulls, and you can certainly take a look at that. But I want to thank Central Star, Greg Beavers there. Also American Breeder Service, and for donations of choice there on a couple of bulls, and also Gen X Cooperative for choice on semen on a couple of different bulls as well. But those three have always been supporters of the Southern Indiana Angus Association, along with all those advertisers, and sure want to thank them for their support as well.
Yeah, there's one more that I'm afraid you might have missed. Nick Hartman, he's an agent at Farm Bureau Insurance, and he also contributed to that.
That's
so
right. I'm glad you caught. That's
yeah.
exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right. I was having a hard time reading my own writing, Andy, so apologize for that. But,
I just didn't want to leave anybody out.
Absolutely.
Right, but as you said, the studs, Gen X, ABS, Central Star, those guys, always supporters of the Southern Association sale, and that's kind of a neat thing that they do. Some of them will offer 5 straws on one bull that they donated. Some of them, like this year, they're offering 2, like Gen X is offering 2. Offering Stevenson Turning Point, also Insight offering 5 straws on either one of those bulls. The winning bidder can choose from that. Also ABS Side-Gen Enhance 5209, and also Sit Stellar from ABS. They're offering choice on those 2. And then Central Star offering the Marvel semen.
That's right.
So one of their up-and-comings.
Yeah, and they'll get the opportunity to probably hear you sell that semen at the beginning of the sale as well, Andy. So if they want to
right.
hear your hand at the microphone, they'll be able to catch that if they're sitting there in the stands or sitting on live auctions as well.
Yeah, and we can get that semen. Most of it's usually there that day. If you're interested in that, we could get arrangements to get that to you through those guys. If you are online and a ways away, why we can make arrangements somehow and get those lots taken care of.
That's right.
Dwayne, we want to talk about some of the sale consigners real quick.
Yeah, there's, like I said earlier, we have 16 great consigners in that. The majority of them here, I believe we only have one new consigner to the sale this time that hasn't been in the past, or hasn't been for quite a while anyway. I had a great chance to visit with them several different times as well. But out of those 16 consigners, I'll list them off quick here. The Ross family, Blue River Acres, Angus at Shelbyville, bringing a nice set and always do. Carmichael Angus Farm, Lesson family there around Bloomington, bringing a couple pretty nice open heifers and a nice bred. The Chastain family, Justin, of course, they're from Brownstown. Longtime consigners and always involved with the association as well. The Uli family, Double O Angus at Bedford. Express Angus, it's a pair of partners, Todd Brumfield and Blaine Bonebright, always bringing several cattle to the sale. Good pedigree type cattle too. They've been consigners here for I know 3 or 4 years. Do a nice job. Family from here close to me. Actually, I tell you what, a young man, 16 years old. This is, I believe, his 3rd time to consign. Drew Glick, or Glick Farms from Mount Carmel, Illinois. Boy's doing a nice job trying to get started at a young age. Of course, your family, Andy, Doc, and you, with a nice set of production females in the sale and a couple of opens as well. Joe Lannon from Lynn always has a nice set of cows as well. He's back in. Mel and Joan Melsheimer from Tennyson, a nice bred in there. Roger Eckstein from Pear Lane Angus right there at Seymour as well. The new consigner knew that, at least in my reign there, Pitts family from Milan, have a nice set of young production females in the sale. Looking forward to getting through those. Jason Raber from Montgomery always has a good set there, some bulls and production cows. Of course, another one, a long time involved with the Southern Indiana Angus Association, Thompson's Royal Manor from right there around Seymour, Jim and Troy. Lois Promenschenkel from Teraband Farms in Crab Orchard, Kentucky, bringing us a bull and a heifer as well. She's back with us, be her 2nd time consigning. Trevor Craig from Todd and Craig Angus at Craig and Angus at Bedford. Nice open heifer, nice bred female, and then of course our sale chairman as well, Lauren Wilson Angus with a nice big bull is lot 1 in the sale. That's our consigner base, and again, I mean, man, that's a pretty good set of folks to work with. Pretty well have had the opportunity to stand on every one of those farms with the exception of 1 or 2 and take a look at their entire cow herds and see what type of programs that they've put together. Yeah, and I can't rave enough about the consigners we have in this one and have had in the past sales for the job they do of bringing a quality set of cows to take a look at, to represent their programs and to add into potential buyer programs as well. I don't think you can go wrong really with any of those operations when you're taking a look at adding seed stock into your program from them.
And this sale contains it all. There's bulls, there's open heifers, there's cow-calf pairs, there's fall cow-calf pairs. There's going to be, I believe there's going to be some splits. Is that right, in the falls?
There will be, that's right. If you look across the sale catalog as well at any of those divisions, there'll be something for a little bit of everybody. You know, if you want an older, good service age bull, we have those. If you want a spare bull, a little younger one to develop, we have a couple of those. I'm not saying we have poor quality. We have some ranges of quality inside of all those divisions as well. So there's some pretty mainstream genetics throughout. The majority of these cattle, mentioned to you, the majority of these cattle are AI sired. A lot of them are AI sired many generations back. These breeders have done a nice job paying attention to their own programs, trying to produce a quality product, and so they have a lot of that. And you're right, in that fall division, there'll be a few of those falls that will offer splits on, particularly like those heifer pairs where those calves are certainly old enough to have already been weaned. We'll give you an opportunity to pick or choose in those, whether you'd like to buy the heifer calf or whether you'd like to buy the factory, the mother of that heifer calf. take a look at those as well. And in those spring pairs, many of those spring calving cows will have calved by sale time, so you'll take the entire happy family home with you.
Yeah, and do we want to highlight some of those, Dwayne? You say we've got AI sires and many generations of those AI sires, and one of the unique things and possibly even one of the struggles, we've got so many genetics from so many different operations coming into one. You go to some production sales and when it's all of theirs, it's very closely related, a lot of it, but this one, I mean, we've got stuff from everywhere around the nation that comes into these consigners as a lot of these consigners go out and they do buy from around the nation and bring those cattle in. So we've got a lot of different pedigrees involved in this one.
Sure, that's exactly right. If putting a halter on them interests you, we have the genetics in the sale and the quality and the phenotype. Talking particularly now in the open heifers, there'll be some of those that'll be competitive. If you're looking to produce those, there's the quality of genetics inside of the bulls that you could purchase here to use in your own programs to create those. And as well, there's pretty good females in here already in production that could produce those if that's your thing. If you're paying a little more closer attention to EPDs and performance, we have that for you as well. So we have kind of a general variance of that across the board. That's one of the great things you have about having different operations with different focuses involved here as consigners for your sale.
Yeah. Do we want to hit on some of those pedigrees and things that maybe they can go to the catalog and find some more information about?
Well, sure. I don't want to be too particular. I mean, there's 50 lots in here, 56 head. As you're taking a look at it, it'd take a long time to describe each and every one of them. Right. But there's some good things. I mean, there's a good stout, powerful bull to lead the sale off with lot one. There's a Warner flat top son going back to a 10X cow. Brings a lot of variation to it. You can take a look here. The Cavanese on the lot 5 from Stevenson Turning Point. And if you read the bottom side of that pedigree, man, the proven Queen 010 cows right there on the pedigree. So that's some stuff that is pretty nice to have when you're looking at that. Right below that one, there's a Tour of Duty, man. There's not many of those out there that aren't just pretty consistent all the time. Just kind of flipping through here. I'll just pick one out that's not necessarily a known bull, but the lot 14 bull out of the Womack Top Class 716. I know the cow family behind that particular bull all the way back. Come from Womack in Kentucky as well. That bull is not one that you'll buy semen on through a general stud service every day, but I can guarantee you the quality in that is still there as well. You can just kind of flip through there and take a look as you're looking there. There's some local genetics to you there in Niagara in lot number 8. Long time performance from Brilliance in lot number 11. So as we kind of take a look through those, there's some pretty good genetics if you're just reading the pedigrees on that. And if you go on back and start looking through some of what the babies that are hitting the ground on some of these cows or even in these bred heifers of what they're bred to, you take like lot 27, confirmed bred to Insight. I mean, it just doesn't get much more consistent than that. That's a pretty good female as well. I've actually seen that cow or that bred heifer, a 10X daughter, bred to Insight. That's a pretty consistent pedigree to go with along as well. Kind of pick on some of yours as well, Andy, like the lot 28 here. Pasture's supposed to going to be calving right there shortly after the sale time. I'm going to dig on back into some of these. There's some proven Indiana cow farm or cow genetics, Angus genetics, I'm sorry. If you want to flip clear back to the back of the catalog here, the Rowena cow family from Wilson Cattle Company here's a cow consigned here by Land & Angus Farm. If you look right ahead of her, lot 48, the Scotsman daughter coming right out of the Sherman program from right down there near Cord in Indiana as well. And I kind of flipped through there. I didn't necessarily pick and choose on any of that, but there's some variance in those genetics, but I tell you what, there's some consistency in it and a little bit of everything to offer as well as you're going through those.
And as you said, there's always some showier genetics in there. There's always some working cow genetics in there. Always some performance bulls in there, calving ease bulls in this sale. And so, as we mentioned, a little bit for everybody.
That's exactly right.
Dwayne, I sure appreciate you being a part of this and getting this podcast put together to talk about the Southern Indiana Angus sale. And again, Southern Indiana Angus sale at Little York, Indiana, United Producers Livestock Facility, Saturday, March 27th, 1 o'clock. And we hope it rains on that Thursday and Friday right before, right, Dwayne?
Yeah, but not too much. No, yeah, that's exactly right. We've always had pretty good weather for that sale. It always ends up being pretty nice. It's been a little windy at times, but inside that nice facility that there in Little York, it's a great place to gather and take a look at those cattle. You can grab something to eat there as well. Like I said, you don't have to worry about that. And we'll nestle in there right at 1 o'clock and get you started with the semen and get right on through the cattle and get you on out of there too, so you can enjoy your Saturday evening as well.
And we do ask that you try to get those cattle out of there. So if you have thoughts of purchasing cattle, it would be great to bring that trailer. And we've got a great loadout crew. You always hear good comments about that loadout crew that we've got in the back running those cattle up and running them to loadout.
That's exactly right. But I also want to mention too, if you need arrangements there, that producers at Ryan would like to get the cattle, as many of them out as we can. They have to move forward looking into the next week. But don't be afraid to make contact here with Ryan if you need some time there to leave them. They encourage you to get them out. But particularly if you're buying online, we'll make arrangements to get those cattle somewhere safe to where you can pick them up or make trucking arrangements as well. Or if they have to hang out there and catch a trucker. And if you need transportation, I highly recommend getting a hold of Ryan. He has reliable truckers there available to go about anywhere as well.
Right. They haul a lot of cattle. He's got a lot of guys that haul cattle in there, and so they can certainly haul cattle out of there and do it on a daily and weekly basis.
That's right.
Well, Dwayne, anything else that we think maybe they need to know about to catch this Southern Indiana Angus sale?
The only thing I'd tell you as well, I guess we didn't touch on you, those cattle will be available for viewing in the afternoon on the Friday before, on the 26th. We have posted in the catalog by 2 p.m. Those cattle are on display, and that's the case. Everything's pretty well there. They may not be exactly where they'll be on Saturday morning, but they'll be able to view them there. The consigners are there to answer any particular questions you have. We're also there all day on Saturday to visit with you, help you out if you need to come and take a look and can't attend. Don't be afraid to stop in on Friday as well and visit with the consigners, visit with us. We'd certainly like to talk to you, talk cattle all the time. Certainly like to talk to you that day as well.
Right, yeah, and I guess some of the guys that they could get a hold of, if they know some of these guys that maybe they need them to go look at something, you can get a hold of myself. You can get a hold of Dwayne, of course. Get a hold of Rob Newkirk. He'll be there. Alex Popplewell. Of course, Brooklyn Graham can run out there and look at some things. Julie Stevens will be there. Doug Sherman, Lauren Wilson. Those folks can describe some cattle for you if you need that. And also we ought to hit on the officers here for the Southern Indiana Angus Association, with Ralph Meyer being the president this year, Mark Thompson the vice president, Kathy Wilson is the secretary, and Dwayne, I don't know if you've heard a lot of you've heard some of Kathy Wilson's secretary's report, and you almost don't have to go to the first meeting or the meeting before, because she's going to tell you just about what happened to the minute and do it in a very efficient way. So
yeah, and I'm glad you said that too. And I have to stop and rave and thank her as well. I the last several years proofread these catalogs. We're always in a hurry trying to make sure we get them to the print. Kathy's done an incredible job of helping us proofread these things. I mean, by the time I get down to proofing it before it goes to print, I've read it so many times I really don't want to read it anymore. And she does an amazing job of that, and I have to take a second to thank her for that as well.
Right, and Lou Uli also involved in some of those things. She gave us our tags the other night, actually. So, Yeah, so she involved, and Melanie Rentz, she's the treasurer, and she does some decorating as well, I do believe, in there.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
well, Dwayne, appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on here on the podcast with me and talking about this Southern Indiana Angus sale. Glad that you're along with this Southern Indiana Angus sale again and managing it and doing the selling of it. You and Julie do a nice job of getting things put together. And again, just want to invite everybody to Little York, Indiana, Saturday, March 27th, 1 o'clock, and come eat lunch. Come meet some good folks and come buy some good cattle. And also, we want to thank you for listening to another edition of Before the Bid. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Before the Bid. For more information and to learn more about upcoming podcasts and sales, visit us at beforethebid.podbean.com or Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram pages. For information on being a guest on Before the Bid, please email us at beforethebid@gmail.com or one of our social media pages. Remember, that's beforethebid@gmail.com. Happy sales to you, and we will talk to you next time on Before the Bid.